What's up, everybody? It's your bro, Super Bro Zulfi. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I want to go over 5 things with you, 5 non-Nintendo games coming out in the future that I am super excited for. Even though I'm wearing a Nintendo shirt today, we're going to be talking about non-Nintendo games. And actually, one of these games is coming to Switch as well. Recently, there's been a lot of presentations happening. That usually is what happens in the month of June. We get a bunch of gaming news. PlayStation had their State of Play recently at the end of May, and Xbox had their presentation this past weekend, and this past weekend was also Summer Game Fest. So a lot of gaming news has been coming out. We're still waiting for Nintendo. Usually they would have announced it by now. It's June 12th as I'm recording this video. So, a lot of people were predicting that it was going to be announced this week, but nothing so far. So fingers crossed it's happening soon. It's not this week, it has to be next week, right? And if not next week, it has to be the week after that. Then they're out of days in the month of June. But we'll see what happens. Even though this is a Nintendo channel, I do play other consoles and video games as well. So from time to time, I would like to talk about them. And I think right now is the perfect time to talk about some of the games that are coming out that I'm excited for, that I'll be playing in the future, hopefully. All right, without further ado, let's get started. Starting off with game number 1, we have Astro Bot coming to PlayStation 5 from Sony. It's a first-party Sony game, and of course, this is a game that I'm going to absolutely love because it is a 3D platformer, but not just a 3D platformer. It seems like a platformer that has been given so much love and so much creativity put into it. It looks beautiful. It looks so colorful. I played Astro's Playroom, which was the free game that came with the PlayStation 5 back when it came out. And I think it maybe still comes with the consoles nowadays as well. I'm not sure about that. But I played that game to completion, platinumed it, absolutely loved it. That game took full advantage of the DualSense. You could feel all the movements, you can hear all the sounds. It was such a beautiful experience. And a lot of PlayStation games don't take advantage of the controller. So I'm excited for a game that's going to take full advantage of the awesome controller that is the DualSense 5. Not only does it feel great as a controller, but it has so many amazing features that I feel like a lot of video game developers sleep on, but I definitely expect more effort being put in with a first-party game like this. And of course, like I said, it's a 3D platformer. 3D platformers are my favorite type of game. 3D Mario games are my favorite, and this just reminds me of that. Astro is basically Sony's Mario, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's my number 1 game, Astro Bot, coming very soon. It actually comes out in September. Second game I'm excited for is Monster Hunter Wilds. Now this one has a lot of nostalgia attached to it because I played a lot of Monster Hunter World with my brother, my cousin, and my friend. We absolutely love playing that game, grinding, working together, taking down monsters. And really, that's the main reason I'm excited for this game, is just to kind of have those type of memories again if everybody in our party is down to buy it and try it again. But other than nostalgia, from looking at the game, it seems like they're putting in a lot more effort into the game. It seems like the story is actually very fleshed out. It seems like they're doing a pretty good job with the cutscenes. There's angles and stuff that look movie worthy. It seems like they're putting a lot more effort into the story, and it's not just going to be kind of like, a secondary thing to the gameplay. I think we're going to have a good story, a good Monster Hunter story, along with great gameplay. And speaking of the gameplay, seems like there's a lot more features in the game. Seems like you can have multiple weapons. It seems like the monsters, a lot of them are new, and they look big, bulky, and they look like a lot of fun to take down. So I can't wait for Monster Hunter Wilds. That is my game number 2. By the way, these games are not in any particular order. So when I say game 2, it's not like the second most excited game that I'm excited for. It's just these games could be in any order. I'm excited for all 5 of them. Moving on to game number 3, we have Winter Burrow, which was revealed during the Xbox presentation. And it looks like a fun, cozy game to play in the wintertime. And appropriately, it's being released in winter 2025, early 2025. So I'm assuming this is going to be like a January or February release. But you're basically a city mouse that moves back into the country to your childhood home. And it's not as cozy as it used to be, so now you're on a mission to make it cozy. So you have to basically clean, organize, you probably have to plant stuff and make the neighborhood lively again. You're going on quests, you're talking to people, you're running errands. It's kind of like a life simulation game, but you're a mouse and you're trying to make things better. And there's a little bit of survival elements in it too. I saw a little bit of combat in it as well. And the story seems kind of dark because at the very end of the trailer, we see him talking to another character, and that character gets swooped up by an owl, which is probably very terrifying if you're a mouse. But I think this will be a nice cozy game to play in the winter, leading into the spring. I think that's kind of the vibe that the game gives. So yeah, Winter's Burrow is number 3 on my list. Moving on to number 4, we have Sonic X Shadow Generations. This is another Sonic Generation game, and instead of modern Sonic and classic Sonic being the only 2 playable characters, this time we have Shadow the Hedgehog being playable. And yes, I'm a Shadow fan, so I'm completely here for this. And I'm sure a lot of people are just going to buy this game solely based off the fact that you could play as Shadow the Hedgehog. And I think a lot of companies can learn from Sega. They need to just start using their characters. There's a lot of beloved characters out there, and I feel like video game companies a lot of times will hold out on them and not use them for some reason, like there's no audience out there for them. For example, like Nintendo hasn't made a Star Fox game in a while, haven't made a Kid Icarus game in a while, they haven't made an F-Zero game in a while. There's a lot of franchises that Nintendo has not touched that could make them big money because there's a fan base out there, and Shadow has a fan base. And talking about Nintendo, I was talking about other franchises, but there's characters in the Mario franchise that they could be using, like Wario. There hasn't been a Wario Land game since the Nintendo Wii, and Donkey Kong Country hasn't come out since the Wii U either. So there's a lot of characters that Nintendo has that they just haven't been using, and other companies are in the similar situation where they have characters that they're not using. Use your characters, you will sell games. So I'm glad that Sega is like, we're gonna make Shadow a big focus of this game, because that's probably the only reason I'm buying this game, is because Shadow the Hedgehog. But not only that, there has to be another reason, and that other reason is this game seems like it's playing a lot on nostalgia. It is a Sonic Generations game, so you're gonna have a lot of old school type levels that give off like Dreamcast vibes, and there's even a legacy skin in the game. So if that doesn't cater to anybody's nostalgia, then I don't know what will. But yeah, Sonic X Shadow Generation is my game number 4. Super excited for this one, and this one is coming out this year in October. I cannot wait. I'll be picking it up on the PlayStation 5. Usually with these third-party games, they're better on non-Nintendo consoles. I usually use Nintendo consoles to play their exclusives, but if a game is coming out on the Switch and is also coming out on the PS5, I'm most likely going to get the game for the PS5 because it's going to run smoother and look better on the PS5 than the Switch. This is the one game that I had on my list that is on the Nintendo Switch still. So, but it's not a Nintendo game, so it still counts on this list. All right, let's get into the last game. Game number 5 is another game that was revealed during the Xbox presentation, and this isn't the first time we're seeing this game. This game was revealed previously as well, and this game is called South of Midnight, and it looks phenomenal. First off, let's just talk about that art style. The art style gives me Spider-Verse vibes, for real. It looks so good, so clean. I absolutely love this type of art style. I absolutely love what was it, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which used a similar art style, and I'm completely down for more video games and movies to use this type of art style, this type of animation. I think it looks really cool. I'm not sick and tired of it yet, so please give me more. But as far as the game itself, it seems like it takes place in a fantasy setting, kind of like in the South, like kind of like Florida, New Orleans, Mississippi type of vibes. And it's in a fantasy world where there's animals that talk. It looks really fun, and it has combat system as well, and the combat kind of gave off Dark Souls vibes. The character battles this kind of like demon looking creature, and it really just gives off Dark Souls vibes, even though I'm not sure if this is a Souls-like or not, but I'm down. I love that type of combat. They did show us a little snippet of the story. It seems like you're on a fish and you have to go through the water, but there's a crocodile island that's in the way, so you have to move it. So the fish tells you to go ring the bell, and you hop off of it, you go towards the bell, you fight that Dark Souls boss thing, kind of like a mini boss, and then you make your way up to the tower and you ring the bell. It distracts the crocodile, it comes for you, and then you leap off and you land on your fish and you go on your merry way. There also seems to be some pretty cool movement options in this game. It seems like you also have the ability to glide using some type of magic, and you kind of have this ability where you can kind of do these long jumps and leaps in the air. It looks very cool and very fluid. The game doesn't have a set release date, but it's scheduled to come out next year in 2025. I can't wait. So yeah, those are the top 5 non-Nintendo games that I'm excited for that are coming out in the future. To run through them one more time, we got Astro Bot coming to PlayStation 5. We got Monster Hunter Wilds coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC. We got Winter Burrow coming to Xbox and PC. We got Sonic X Shadow Generations coming to all platforms. And we got South of Midnight coming to Xbox and PC. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, make sure you guys hit that thumb. It definitely helps the channel out. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not. And let me know in the comments, which non-Nintendo game are you guys excited for that's coming out in the future? Also, if you want to check out another list of 5 things, you could check out another video on my channel. I'll put it right here. These are my top 5 predictions for the June Direct that we should be getting very soon. So definitely check that out. Anyway, it's been your bro, Super Bro Zulfi. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.